Williams with BlackRain79.com. I'm back here with another video or hand history review for you guys at NL25. So this is a full ring table here, and continuing on with the action, I have King 10 on the button, and we'll just see how this plays out. So the table basically all folds to me. You guys know that I'm definitely a fan of stealing with a pretty wide range in a spot like this, especially when there's not really any regs that are going to give us any trouble. And that's pretty much the case in this spot. The player to our left is actually a pretty decent looking reg with a 3% or sorry, a 6% 3-bet. Let's go over the HUD real quick. 846 is the number of hands, 14 is the VPIP, 13 is the preflop raise, and 3 is the aggression factor. So I will get played back at a little bit from this guy, but he's not like crazy, you know. I mean, I might consider. Well, I mean, this kind of hand with King 10, I'm probably not going to fold. I think it's a little bit too strong. But I'm not really going to worry about a reg too much until his 3-bet is approaching about 10%. So 6% is fairly normal still for full ring. And, best of all here, of course, is that we have the recreational player in the big blind, one of perhaps the only reason. Well, this player, Villain 45, is slightly bad as well, but Villain 48 would be a main reason we're at the table. We can see as a 50 the classic whale stats. So clear reason to be at the table is that guy. So we want to get involved with hands in as many pots as possible with him, of course. And it should be noted, as I always mention, look at the stack size before anything in a hand. He's only got 10 bucks or 40 big blinds, so that will definitely affect how we're going to play the hand. So we make it 3 times the blind on the button there. You can come in for 2.5, whatever. I actually typically do come in for 2.5. I'm not sure why I made it 3 there, but whatever. The reg does folds, and the recreational player in the big blind calls. So go to the flop. We don't really flop anything. He does check to us though, and it's pretty much just going to be a standard c-bet for me in this spot. I think that there's a lot of hands that he can have. That I don't know if there's a lot that we're still ahead of that he's going to call with, but I just think that it's just basically a standard c-bet. We're going to take it down a fair amount of the time. We've still got 2 overs. If he does call, we could hit something on the turn. I just think it's a much better decision than checking back versus a player who's playing half the deck. Let's remember. There are a lot of hands, actually, I should say, that we're beating. He's calling pre-flop with all sorts of nonsense, like 6-4 and I don't know, 9-5. I don't know, is on top, but there's definitely some hands. There's Jack 10, King Queen, or Queen Jack. Sorry. There's a bunch of hands like that we actually are ahead of. So we could actually be value betting with our King 10 high here. So pretty typical spot. Bet about 2/3 pot, and he does decide to call. So we do kind of get lucky and spike our top pair on the turn. Which is good, and he decides to check to us again. So this is kind of a spot where I might consider slowing down against some other players, but I think in this spot it's pretty much just a guaranteed bet for value against a player who's got a range this wide. And kind of the good thing about this hand is we can't really get check raise big because he doesn't have much of a stack. So the plan here will just be to bet the turn and to call any kind of shove or anything like that. So we do bet about 2/3 pot again on the turn, and he does actually go indeed go into shoves all the money in. So I've talked about before in several videos previous to this that a check raise on the turn is often the nuts, but in a situation like this, it's quite a bit different because we're against a very short stacked opponent, and I think in a spot like this, it's kind of like if he can beat. We have top pair, almost top kicker at this point. If he can beat that, it's just kind of like good for him, And it's likely we do have outs in this spot, and with a short stacked opponent like this, I think that they will freak out with some dumb crap from time to time as well, because they're just kind of feel like they're pot committed, and I believe that's actually what did happen in this hand. is that he was in there with some nonsense. Yeah. So I think that I hope this hand was illustrated for you guys. I think that versus short stacks, you've kind of got to throw the whole he's always got a monster when you get check raised on the turn out the window a little bit. They will have a big hand from time to time, but it's pretty hard for us to be behind in this spot, and they're definitely going to show up with all sorts of nonsense like this. Whereas if this was a full stacked villain and we got check raised big, I would definitely consider folding in a spot like that quite a bit more. So let me know what you guys think of this hand. Make sure that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel if you want to see more videos like this. And also go check out my website, blackrain79.com, for weekly strategy articles on how to crush the micro stakes. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been Nathan Williams with blackrain79.com.